Frank, can you just talk about how excited you are to get not only Miles, but Orlando and then Lance and Jeff out there next week to get ready for Summer League?
Yeah, anything less than undefeated, and they're going to fire the coach. Kevin and Donnie assured me that would happen. So we're going 5-0, and it should be a great Summer League team. Both in looking at Lance and Jeff develop and really get some real minutes and really to see their talents and see where they're at. But to get our first look at these guys, we're just so excited about having Miles here and Orlando, and we feel like both of those guys fit into our identity in different ways. We talked about Miles a little bit last night about just how we've sort of built this team around defense and rebounding, and he just beefs that up. He fits that identity, and it falling in line with what Kevin and Donnie were saying. You got a target guy. It doesn't matter where people may be saying he should be going. You got a chance to get him, you go get him. And that's what we're really excited about and adding Miles to this club. And I can't wait to see him get started next week.
In the drive to improve the bench, obviously this is a big step in it, but you have Jeff and Lance may be playing a bigger role. How do you sort of see, do you anticipate that this could be a lot of new faces making up the second unit, or are there going to be, additional moves yet to shore that up?
Well, I mean, you're always trying to upgrade your team, right? We have always said this. We think our starting five is pretty effective. And we feel like that with what we did in the playoffs and Coach Vogel and his staff has done, we feel comfortable with that. We still have work to do to retain Hibbert and Hill, and we're going to work our tail off. We're going to get those guys done. But, adding Miles is exactly what we need from a guy coming off the bench early in his career. Jeff Foster, everybody says Jeff Foster 2.0, but you got to be careful about that. I think they're similar, but they're also very unique players. And the thing that, drew us to Miles was that his energy, his athleticism, and I'm going to reiterate, I think this is something that's overlooked all the time, and that is he knows who he is. A lot of players come in this league and say, I averaged 12 rebounds in college, but I'm going to turn into a scorer. I think he knows where his bread is buttered. It's being physical on defense. It's toughness. It's blocking shots. It's taking charges. And, in a perfect basketball world, we love the highlights. We love the ESPN highlights. And I think he'll make a few. Trust me, he's that athletic. But I also think he does the dirty work. And don't underestimate how important that is to an NBA team. We see that, especially Larry Bird. I mean, one of the most, dirty work players that's ever played the game. He saw that in him. We saw that in him.
Miles, where does your willingness to do the dirty work, where does that hard work, where does all that come from?
Just a desire to be great. I know I've had great coaches in my lifetime, and, they gave me a great perspective on the game, and I know how valuable that is to a team. And, not everybody here in the NBA is a Kobe Bryant. There's a lot of guys that complete a team, and I'm excited to come in and do that.
Donnie and or Kevin, can you guys, obviously, now that you got your draft taken care of with free agency starting on Sunday, you talked about re-signing George and Roy, but how important is it to try to just keep your starting five intact, considering you had the lockout season and they have a chance to build on what they did last year? Or do you look at it as, if there's a trade out there, we try to make it?
I think it's important, and I think that when you talk about free agency, the number one priority of teams that have had a good year is to try to retain their own players. So that'll be our priority, and that was our starting team once you do that. So, and then we'll try to add to the team from that point on.
It's interesting. Donnie and I have had many conversations over the past few days, and there's and people have written about it. There's analytics about it. It's just, but continuity moving forward with good teams is really important. You want to keep the same guys because for whatever reason they learn each other better. You look at some of the most elite teams that have had sustained success, they stay together year and year with small changes. Well, this team isn't about blowing it up and starting anew. We got to keep the same pieces in place, and we got to keep growing. We've got guys that can continually learn, get better, and that's our challenge. You know, we have to grow as a team. That's that organic that comes within the team because we've been together.
I think that's really important, that a team, everyone will talk about players going out and developing skills, but a team, by playing together over a period of time, develops into a better team. Everything gets sharper, everything gets better. As they move up, this year they got to the second round of the playoffs. It's predictable. You don't win the championship in 1 year usually, all right? It's a step-by-step process, and because the reason is because each step you take forward, you realize why you didn't take the next step, and so you go back and you, as a team, work on those things, and you understand it now because that's what beat you.
I also want to say what's really interesting about this draft is that our owner is unbelievably committed to winning, and he proved it last night. We saw another player in this draft, and we were able to go get him, and it makes a difference. He wants to win, and it was fun being in my first draft and having him be so aggressive to go get another player.
Miles, for you personally, obviously you have a close-knit family and you've been playing with your brothers for a few years. What will it be like for you now to sort of separate, be on your own, maybe sort of forge your more of an independent identity?
I couldn't be more excited about it. I've had a great experience with my brothers, and I've enjoyed my time with them, but I definitely think it's time to, kind of go out and do my own thing.